ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
It's 52 degrees. It rained overnight and the last few hours, but I'm looking at the radar and it looks good for the next few. I think we've missed the heavy stuff. Ron Rivera, second playoff game as a head coach, lost to San Francisco after a Coach of the Year season in 2013. Other side, it's Bruce Arians, who won that award in 2012 when he filled in for the Colts' Chuck Pagano. Favorite to win Coach of the Year this season at age 62. His first NFL playoff game as a head coach. And right there with Ryan Lindley, his quarterback. 1-5 as a starter. Lost both of his starts this season. And Lindley next to Arians about to play the biggest game of his life. Veteran referee Ed Hockley got confused. You think there aren't nerves even for the vets? Kind of messed up the coin toss, but eventually they got it right. Arizona's won the toss and will receive. 12 teams begin. 11 games ahead. One will have a run to remember. Off we go with the playoffs. No return for the former Carolina Panther, Ted Ginn. Arizona will start at the 20. Lindley's 25 years old, sixth-round pick of the Cardinals in 2012. Great numbers at San Diego State, a four-year starter, set the records for touchdown passes and all of that good stuff. But I mentioned the career record. He only has one win that came in his rookie year. Started the last two, lost to Seattle, lost to San Francisco. Second-year man from Stanford, Stephon Taylor's the back. Lindley's first throw incomplete. He was looking at Rob Hausler, his tight end. We'll show you who's going to help Lindley. Start with Jared Belnier, free agent signing from the Raiders. That left tackle solidified this offensive line. Sedline is the veteran. It is backed by committee, and there's very little experience. Taylor and Williams will run the most. That receiving core, that's the strength of this offense, and John Brown, the rookie, can get deep. Second and 10. Here is the first run for Taylor. Only gains 2. Benet Ben-Wickery joins Luke Kuechly on the tackle.
It's one thing that Arizona has not done well, Mike, and that's running the football. They have no-name running backs. Ellington out for the year. Obscure players, Stephon Taylor, Kerwin Williams. They fall behind in the down and distance with a young quarterback in this noise against this rush. Going to be a long day.
And now in the third down situation, Robert Hughes is the back next to Lindley. Panthers rush 4. Lindley, nothing open. Keeps it alive and finds Hughes the check down. 2 yards shy of the first down. The linebackers Davis and Kuechly force a 3 and out.
Those are plays that Carolina fans might take for granted. In the open field, you're going to see Hughes catch the ball, but watch Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis show up and tackle Hughes short of the first down. This excellent effort in open field tackling.
Drew Butler took over the punting duties during the season. Not a very deep kick. Not a very good kick. Bouncing back into Cardinal territory, hit at body, and now players fall on it as the flag comes down, but a really poor kick with a net of about 20 yards where it was covered.
There is no foul on the play. Carolina's ball, first down.
Referee, the official I should say, went to grab a beanbag, grabbed his flag instead. Let's watch the end of this play. That'll give Carolina possession at the Arizona 48. Touched a Cardinal player first, so there was no problem. Brenton Burson had a free chance to pick it up, advance it if he chose. Well, a great starting field position for Cam Newton. Lost his playoff start last year here to the 49ers. One deep breath to get ready.
That's it.
The 48, they will run inside and go nowhere with Jonathan Stewart, who's been hot in the last 5 weeks. A loss of a yard for Stewart.
And I like what Arizona did to start this game. They're using 4 defensive linemen instead of 3. They used this approach earlier against Dallas with great success. They want to get Frosty Rucker, Tommy Kelly, Campbell, as many D linemen covering these Carolina offensive linemen as possible.
We should point out this Arizona team, a 3-4 base team during most of the season. Newton slants it. It's complete. It's the rookie receiver out of Florida State, Kelvin Benjamin, 3 yards shy of the first down.
Benjamin and Patrick Peterson are going to have quite a battle tonight. Wherever Benjamin, number 13, goes, Patrick Peterson, a 4-time Pro Bowl corner, will follow him. And Peterson has had his ups and downs. He better be on today.
Generous mark, quick snap, 3rd and 2, back to Benjamin on Peterson. Gain of 8 and a first down, Carolina.
So Cam Newton told us, Mike, he said this is Benjamin's chance to show in prime time that he can beat anybody on the planet. The highest paid corner in pro football has been targeted in the first 2 passes.
And Peterson believed he could be physical and bump man-to-man coverage against the big Benjamin, 6'5", 240. National champion with Florida State last year. The 32, it's an inside run with Jonathan Stewart to the 30. Gain of 2 there. Blocking for these guys. 2 rookies. Khalil, the veteran, a bit undersized, but he settles things down, keeps them organized. We've already heard from Benjamin. Greg Olds is a Pro Bowler. He's the next guy Newton looks at. Stewart, D'Angelo Williams back active for the first time since November 30th when he broke a bone in his hand. 2nd and 7, Newton, too tall, and Ed Dixon had a lot of real estate. It's going to be 3rd down. John, as we watched Cam Newton, we detailed everything he had to deal with injuries in this season. In terms of the football, 58%, low completion percentage, but good the last 2 games.
Yes, and he's doing more at the line of scrimmage with audibles than I've seen him do. Be ready for Arizona to bring the house in this situation. There's no safety deep in the middle of the field.
You saw Johnson, the safety, rotate back. Newton, like you said, adjusts that play. 3rd and 7, Cam slant is incomplete. It was jumped by Cromartie. There was contact, but no flag. And we'll get about a 48-yard field goal attempt for Carolina.
Well, Cam Newton did indeed audible. And Antonio Cromartie read that split. He sees Philly Brown outside the numbers, and he knows it's going to be an inside breaking route. Watch the veteran corner jump that pattern. Better be careful when you oversplit like that against the veteran like Cromartie.
Officially 47 for Graham Gano. Started his career with the Redskins. 3rd year as the Panthers kicker. Out of the hole of Nortman, the punter. First points of the game, Carolina. Poor punt by Arizona gave the Panthers good field position and the first points of the playoffs. ESPN's NFL Wildcard Weekend brought to you by GMC. Enter the Never Say Never sweepstakes for a chance to win a 2015 GMC vehicle at gmc.com/NFL. And Game of War. Play free now. Neighborhood around Bank of America Stadium. Folks were tailgating despite the rain. And they have settled in to watch their Panthers in the playoffs at 7-8-1. 20th year of the franchise and the 6th time Carolina has been in the postseason. Ted Ginn awaits. The kicker, Gano, last 2 years in the league, best percentage of touchbacks. 2 for 2 today. Off the crossbar, it's automatically a dead ball, and Arizona ball at the 20. Larry Fitzgerald, who had one of the great playoff runs of all time in 2008, and he finds some magic here this season. You never want to get off to a bad start, but John, you think it was important early for Arizona to do some good things.
They've got to get confidence in Lindley. 3 steps, screens, boots. He needs a completion bad.
Kerwin Williams is now the running back. He takes it to the left. Kuechly will tackle him after a gain of 5. The fans yell Luke. Why is it Lindley? Because Carson Palmer, terrific start, re-injures that ACL that he tore in the playoff game about 8 years ago. So he's done. Enter Drew Stanton, playing well, but also against the Rams, he goes down with a knee injury. There's some thought that Stanton might be able to play this week, but just is not ready. Bruce Arians leaving the window open if Arizona wins and advances, that maybe they can get Stanton back for the next postseason game. But it's Lindley today with rookie Logan Thomas as the backup. A gain of 5 by Williams. Here he is again, pinballing his way for 3. It's going to be 3rd and 2. John, this is the most anonymous backfield to ever start a playoff game. The quarterback, Lindley, we have detailed. And look at this. There is no one in the Cardinals' active running back corps today who's carried it 100 times. The only playoff team all time without a player having 100 or more rushes.
And their tight end that blocks at the point of attack, Darren Fells, never played college football. He was a basketball player at UC Irvine, blocking the point of attack.
Third and 1, and they will give it to the up back, Robert Hughes. Did not get there. 4th down.
Not even close. Pad level, Carolina. Inside, Colin Cole, number 91. Dwan Edwards in there, number 92. Low man wins. Back-to-back 3 and outs, and Arizona's punt team has not been good this season. Butler needs to do a better job here.
Second worst net punting team in the NFL. Carolina was the worst for what it's worth. See if Butler can do better than his first one. Not really. He'll be out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Only 29. Special teams in a tight playoff game hurting the Cardinals in the first 6 minutes. Good field position again for Cam Newton. Leading by 3, trying to find that first playoff win of his career. Next week, the life of 51-year-old Todd Bowles may change. Defensive coordinator in his 2nd year for the Cardinals, going to interview for many of the vacancies for head coaches in the NFL. He's done a very good job these 2 seasons with the Cardinals defense. They rank 5th in points allowed this year, but they've given up a lot of running yards the last 2 weeks. Pass to Kelvin Benjamin on the edge to the 49. Good first down pickup against this Bulls defense. Good on the back end. A lot of injuries up front, but Calais Campbell, the Pro Bowl season, the best of the front 3. Linebacker core, they get Larry Foote, veteran of 2 Super Bowl rings with the Steelers, back in the lineup. He was gone last week. We talked about Peterson and Cromartie. The Honey Badgers here, the one-handed, one-legged Honey Badger. Tyrann Mathieu battling injuries his first 2 years. Newton, option pitch to the edge. Jericho Cotchery, the veteran, tackled by Tony Jefferson. What a first down for Carolina.
Carolina is running an offense that looks more like Auburn than the Carolina Panther offense we saw earlier in the season. It creates one-on-one opportunities in space. That time, Antonio Cromartie came up short on the tackle.
Cam takes the shotgun and puts it in the belly of Jonathan Stewart. He's going to get pulled back and pulled at the ball, too. Forward progress is stopped after a gain of 3 yards. So, John, for so long, it's been D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. Williams breaks a bone in his hand, so he's out the last month. And what does Stewart do? He goes out and has as good a regular season end as anybody at the position except for DeMarco Murray.
He's made more yards in the last 4 or 5 weeks than he's made in the last 2 years. He showed up at the right time.
Newton with some time, throws, incomplete. Flag is down to the secondary. Pass was intended for Cotchery. The flag is on the opposite side of the field and going to be against Arizona. And that man, Jefferson.
Before the pass was thrown, holding, defense number 22. The 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
It'll be the most scrutinized penalty in the postseason, Mike. Here's Jefferson, 22, covering Olsen. Pretty clear. Good call by the official, but Arizona's going to play a lot of one-on-one man-to-man coverage, and that call, pass interference, illegal contact, will be scrutinized carefully throughout this one.
They have struggled covering tight ends. Jefferson starts with a terrific Olsen. Fozzie Whitaker is in the game. Toss to the right, and Whitaker spinning off a tackle as he's down to the 35, 34-yard line.
Perimeter toss game. You're going to see Dixon and a wide receiver come down and crack from outside in. They pull right tackle number 74, Mike Remmers, and Fozzie Whitaker has picked up the slack for D'Angelo Williams' absence.
Even Lincoln. Tunnel.
Show your hand, change your cards. Newton throws it back. Hatchery wrapped up from Artis. One veteran brings down another. Guys who used to play for the Jets involved in that play.
That was an audible to a quick screen. Arizona is loading the box. They're daring Cam Newton to throw the football. That's the second quick screen that he has called. That time, Cromartie triggered it quickly and made a nice one-on-one tackle against Hatchery. Keep an eye on Patrick Peterson and Benjamin in this field position. This is where Todd Bowles likes to blitz, and this is where Newton usually looks for Olsen or one of his favorite targets.
Arizona's made a defensive change. They brought in their dime defense with extra DBs, and they don't like what they have going. They take a timeout. They were one short. They did all that personnel transition, and they ended up one short with 10 on the field, so are forced to take the timeout.
Mike, Arizona has struggled on defense the last 2 weeks. Getting Larry Foote back has really helped them because he's their signal caller. But over 1,000 yards this defense has given up in the last 2 ball games, and so far, not so good.
And you mentioned confidence with Lindley early on. Didn't you get the sense talking to the Cardinals last night that their renewed confidence on the defensive end is because they saw Lindley in the first half last week against San Francisco?
And they saw him all week on the practice field, but they need success early. And Arizona falls behind, and it keeps raining. It doesn't look good for them. Expect a blitz here from Todd Bowles.
3rd and 7. Pressure picked up for the moment. Newton throws complete for the first down to the rookie, Philly Brown. Undrafted out of Ohio State. He's given them speed and a deep threat in the last third of the season.
This good pass protection. Blitzers coming from everywhere. You'll see 32. Matthew bail out of there, but Jonathan Stewart comes across the formation with beautiful blitz pickup, and Philly Brown, one of 8 different Carolina rookies.
1st and 10. Newton, tight space. Olsen first down at the 13-yard line.
Tempo, and expect Cam Newton to stay on the gas pedal. This is where he's most comfortable, where he had his most success at Auburn. They give him 2 plays, and Cam Newton will use his snap count to pick the best one.
Calais Campbell looks to be shaken up there for the Cardinals, in pain as he tries to play defense against Stewart, who's inside the 10, inside the 5, and into the end zone. Carolina touchdown.
What a great start for the Carolina Panthers. It's the power read. Another play that Cam Newton brought to the NFL with him from Auburn. They're going to pull the left guard and read the defensive end. And if that defensive end closes, he hands the ball to Jonathan Stewart. How about that open field running? Greg Olsen at the point of attack against Larry Foote does a nice job, and the tackling of this Arizona defense is not good in the last couple weeks.
Gano adds the extra point. Dream start. 2 3-and-outs by the Cardinals offense. 2 poor punts. And the Panthers get a field goal. And then a touchdown by the veteran Jonathan Stewart. 10-0, Carolina. Arizona's the host team for the Super Bowl, also the Pro Bowl. 3 weeks from tomorrow, you'll see the best in the NFL. Chris Carter and Michael Irvin captaining the teams. Access to the locker room, wired sound of multiple players. A lot of fun to celebrate the best of the best for the season and kick off Super Bowl week in Arizona. You'll see it here on ESPN. 3 kickoffs, 3 touchbacks. And put that with a defense that has just figured it out, John. As good an inside linebacker combo as there is in the league. Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis. Kind of an odd couple, except when they're on the field. On the field, they're a great couple.
Great chemistry. And, Mike, they compete with one another. They talk trash to each other. They challenge each other to get to the ball first. And it's one of the keys to their greatness.
Arizona needs a first down in the worst way. Speedster John Brown, the fake, and gets the pass and gets a yard. And Davis, who's had his ACL repaired 3 times, has come back and played maybe at the level he was at early in his career.
That's unbelievable. I mean, number 58, you're going to see number 12, Brown, come underneath the formation, and Thomas Davis from inside out makes it look so easy. One of the great one-on-one strikers we have in the NFL. I hope he plays for 10 more years.
Ted Ginn, bottom of the screen. Lindley, dangerous pass, brought in by Williams, lost 2 yards.
This Carolina effort on defense isn't an accident. Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator, demands effort. Watch Charles Johnson chase this screen down. He's going to get up and get the screening back twice. 3rd down and long. Lindley and this Arizona offense desperately need a first down.
Full pressure. Lindley throws. It's caught. Feet down and a desperately needed first down for Michael Floyd. On the right sideline as Josh Norman was covering.
That's impressive by Lindley. They come after the young quarterback. He throws a strike to Floyd, who walked the chalk beautifully. That's hard to do.
He got a break as you see that right foot hit his left calf, and he had to come back and tap it down to dot the I. It's a heck of a play by an emerging receiver in his 3rd year out of Notre Dame. Larry Fitzgerald on the edge. Got past the would-be tackle by Norman. Taken out of bounds by Kuechly. And everybody okay there on the sideline. Could be the last game Larry Fitzgerald plays in an Arizona uniform because of contract issues that we'll talk about later. He's guaranteed a lot of money for next year if they keep him. But he has been the all-time Arizona Cardinal receiver. And, John, his role has changed significantly this season.
Well, he's more of a slot receiver, kind of like Hines Ward was for Bruce Arians in Pittsburgh. He's had a knee problem. He's healthy, and they need something from Fitzgerald today.
Second and 5, Kerwin Williams, and that defense for Carolina. Star Lotulelei led the way. They're good and big up front. Remember, they lost Greg Hardy for most of this season because of his off-field issues. Charles Johnson, the best pass rusher. We've told you about the tremendous inside backers, Kuechly and Davis. And good old Roman Harper is babysitting back there. He's got 2 rookies and Josh Norman, and he's brought them together here late in the season. Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator, just on fire calling stuff. 43 points allowed the last 4 games, playing to that level in this first quarter. 3rd and 4, out quick, big hit, no catch for Jaron Brown.
When you get in this no-back set, you better know what you're doing. That time, Sean McDermott comes with the blitz, and he plays zone coverage behind it. Lindley threw the ball hot in the flat, and there is a huge collision. That's just great team defense by Carolina.
Looking for a punch of over 30 yards. Butler almost had it blocked as the snap was off to his right. Oh, it hit the return man for the Panthers. Dangerous mistake, and the Cardinals get a huge break. Brenton Burson took a knee, and as it bounced forward, it deflected off of him, thus eligible to be recovered. And Justin Bethel, the Pro Bowl special teamer, takes advantage of the first Panther mistake of the day.
The punt was first touched by number 11 of the receiving team, and then recovered by the kicking team. It's therefore Arizona's ball, first down.
That's an amazing mistake by Burson. He tried to be a catcher in baseball. When it's a bad punt for the third time in a row, get out of the way and let the ball be down by Arizona. A catastrophic error by a young return man, and Arizona has life.
Burson, his first year out of Wofford, he and Philly Brown took over the punt return duties after Ginn left for Arizona. What a gift for the Cardinals. Felt like they were on the ropes early, and Carolina was closing in on a knockout first quarter punch. From the 30, Lindley out of the gun, a loss of 3 yards on the run. Davis' first penetration to get it going.
Lindley's got an audible out of that run. It has no chance. When you're in a one-back set and the box is loaded, some of these linebackers are unaccounted for. And that time, Thomas Davis runs through easily for a loss of 2. We're going to force Lindley to throw the football whether he wants to or not.
Second and 12. They will throw with the pressure from Johnson. He gets it to Williams for the 5th time. Tackled by Kuechly. There's a flag down back by the quarterback. Maybe they roughed Lindley and hit him around the head.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness defense, number 95. It's a 15-yard penalty, first down.
Penalties really hurt Ron Rivera's Panthers last year. Let's take a look at Johnson rushing against Bobby Massey. Boy.
He threw him down after the ball was gone. That's clawing it very tight, and the referee's the one who's watching the quarterback. That's why Ron Rivera's on Ed Hockley. There were whistles that went against the Panthers and flags they still are bitter about. Early on in the playoff game against San Francisco last year here, the Panthers team lost composure. We want to make sure there's not a repeat of that. Right now, the Cardinals with miscommunication are going to, I believe, have to take a timeout. They're second here of the quarter.
Arizona's had a hard time scoring in the last 7 weeks, Mike, and particularly in the red zone. And when you have a young quarterback who's only been back here for 3 weeks, I mean, he was in San Diego for 10 weeks as a practice squad quarterback. And these reps in the red zone, getting the timing with the receiver is a very difficult thing to do. But Bruce Arians, I think, is going to have to throw the ball on first down to loosen up this Panther secondary.
In a playoff game, you really have to get yourself, it's so hard to come back against a good team, especially on the road. Larry Fitzgerald's part of that red zone option for Bruce Arians, but right now he's on the sideline. This is where he's done his best damage over the years, working in the red zone. And he'll start this drive on the sidelines.
It's got to be killing them. But Floyd is the go-to man at the top of the screen against Josh Norman.
The tight formation on first down. They give it to the left to Taylor, and no game. They cannot get any run movement against this Carolina front seven.
Well, there's just too many Carolina Panthers in the box. I mean, you can't have any more. There's no room for any more Carolina Panthers. Ryan Lindley on first down is going to have to throw the football, or they're going to continue to get rejected, and Fitzgerald is back in the ball game.
There's 10 rushing yards coming on 7 running attempts. Now they're going empty backfield, and they have gone empty with no backs in the backfield more than any team in the NFL this year. This is the bread and butter of Bruce Arians' throw-it offense. 5 in the pattern. Lindley climbs it, fires too tall for Fitzgerald.
Adam. 3-man rush. Carolina bluffed the blitz, and Larry Fitzgerald on his patented red zone post pattern is open. And Lindley just misses the throw. That's been the struggles with this Cardinal offense since Carson Palmer got hurt. Palmer rings that up in his sleep. 3rd and 10.
Fourth running back to play in this quarter. Arizona State rookie Marion Grice next to Lindley. Panthers bring 4. Lindley fires again. Fitzgerald in the red zone. Caught it. Fighting through the Panthers. 1st and goal inside the 1 as the quarter will come to an end.
That's what you do when you get in trouble and you're a young quarterback. Dial number 11. A quick outside breaking route. Ball's poorly thrown. And Larry Fitzgerald takes it away from 3 Carolina Panthers to set up a 1st and goal. Great play.
After 1, Carolina 10. Arizona knocking on the door. Second quarter in Charlotte, Wildcard weekend. The NFC South champion Panthers scored 10. A couple of mistakes by Carolina has given Arizona a chance to answer. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salters with you here in Charlotte. Marion Grice, the running back. Lindley fakes to him, throws over the top, and the touchdown for Darren Fells.
And look at that Cardinals sideline. Confidence. And it's exactly what the doctor ordered for this Cardinal football team. They need to believe in this young quarterback. Lone coverage, Kuechly. Jacobs, number 53, took the fake and nobody covered. Darren Fells, the ex-basketball player. What a job Bruce Arians has done. It doesn't matter who plays quarterback.
Remember, Lindley had gone 229 passes, longest to start a career without throwing a touchdown pass. Threw a couple last week and has his first postseason touchdown pass. This one goes to Darren Fells. The mistake by the return man Burson gave Arizona life. And Lindley throws the touchdown to Fells. Well, here are the stats for the first quarter and a play. Adding the touchdown from Lindley to Fells. It's an odd combination. 49 total yards, 4 first downs. Carolina has taken advantage of 4 net punting. Good field position, short fields for the field goal and the touchdown on their first 2 drives. But the mistake on that Arizona 3rd punt by that man from Wofford College, Brenton Burson, gave the Cardinals some hope. And now Burson's back deep for the kick. Chandler Catanzaro, the rookie with a line drive, not returned. Carolina starts at its own 20.
Well, this offense is hard to defend. Who has the dive? Who has the quarterback and who has the pitch? And you have to make one-on-one tackles, hard thing to do. And here they pull the left guard. They read the play side defensive end. And when that end closes, Cam Newton has the option to give it. Great players in one-on-one situations usually win, but it's hard to blitz this offense, Mike, because of the threat of the option. Let's see if it continues.
Like you said, Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator, concurred. We're back to the Auburn offense. From the 20, Newton, open tight end, he overshot Ed Dixon, incomplete. Newton taken to the deck after the pass. Flag down on the far side of the field, away from where the pass went.
He's got to make this throw. Ed Dixon comes out of his stance, and he's wide open against this 3-deep zone, and Cam just missed it.
Illegal contact, defense, number 31. The 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. An automatic first down.
It's Antonio Cromartie. I mentioned you coached 18 playoff games, including the win of the Super Bowl. As a coach, you always watched how plays were called, especially those kinds of fouls early in games.
Yes, Mike, officiating pass interference in the playoffs oftentimes is a little bit different than it is in the regular season. But so far, that's the second foul against this Cardinal secondary.
Hard count by Cam Newton. Got Arizona to move, and the offensive lineman helped show the officials what was going on.
Neutral zone infraction, defense, number 93. 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
We should mention, John, the third team on the field, the officials. This is the third year that Ed Hockley does not have his regular crew. These are the best of the best. You're in a couple of different tiers. One tier works the Super Bowl and the championship game. The next tier works these first 2 rounds. And the third tier, based on how you did the prior season, doesn't work the playoffs at all. Toss left. It is Stewart. First down to the 40-yard line.
It's the second time I've seen Cam Newton audible, and I like the development of Newton when it comes to changing plays at the line of scrimmage. You don't always have to audible to passes. That time he sees something in the Carolina defense. He knows they're all bunched up inside, and he audibles to a toss sweep. Well done.
Arizona trying to get lined up, and Stewart runs right to the side where all the defensive linemen left. And a big gain into Cardinal territory at the 41-yard line.
When you bring Philly Brown one way across the formation, you get the defense to go that way. And then you hand the ball to Jonathan Stewart with linemen pulling. Good luck defending that. Jonathan Stewart, the 27-year-old ex-Oregon Duck, has come back to life.
18-yard gain. You see the umpire there. He's not letting Newton snap. Carolina sub. So Arizona's got the right to respond. They did. And D'Angelo Williams fake. Newton to the right. Another first down to the 30.
You just don't know which formation they're going to run the zone read from, but they're going to run it. That time they run it to the tight end side. They release Greg Olsen and Reed, the defensive end, and Cam Newton is ripping Arizona with this unorthodox running game.
Last 3 runs, 10, 18. That one a dozen. Question here will be, did the defensive lineman enter the neutral zone? Or was it on the offense, which tried to draw the foul and was not correct because the neutral zone wasn't invaded?
No defensive player got in the neutral zone. Therefore, it was a false start by the offense. Number 77. 5-yard penalty with first down.
Let's forget what happened there. I think you hit a great point, pal, because there's the hard count. You talked about the change of the line of scrimmage. We're watching Cam Newton take those steps that you need to take to be an elite NFL quarterback.
Especially against a defense like Arizona that loves the blitz. You're giving Newton the authority to change plays and fix problems.
Now on 1st and 15, he's got time. He's going back to Dixon. The tight end was trailed down the field by Sam Acho, linebacker.
Offensive coordinator Mike Shula comes back to the same play they just ran. That time, Acho, number 94, does a nice job covering Ed Dixon on this go route down the far sideline.
Mentioned Mike Shula was Cam Newton's quarterback coach the first 2 years that Cam was here, then the offensive coordinator, son of the great Don Shula, who turns 85 on Sunday. Newton, what a grab, brought in by the veteran Cotchery. 1 hand, 2 feet, and 3rd and manageable coming up.
Cotchery's been in some big games, playoff games with the Jets and Steelers. He comes out of this bunch formation and with his left hand grabs it and secures it with 2 feet inbounds. 3rd down and 5.
Mentioned his experience, 11th playoff game. No Panther has played more.
A lot of substitution problems for Arizona's defense. They just can't get organized.
And Ron Rivera and their sidelines mad. They said you shouldn't stop it and let them sub because Carolina kept its personnel on the field. 3rd and 5. Camp sidearm sling incomplete for Kelvin Benjamin. It'll be 4th down. And Ron Rivera's got a great point here. If Carolina keeps the personnel on the field, Arizona doesn't have the right to be stopped to give a chance to come out and sub.
I agree with you, Mike, and he's getting an explanation there, but watch Benjamin run this corner route. Tony Jefferson, number 22. I thought he got a hand on it, but Benjamin dropped that football.
Good from 47. Gano from 43. J.J. Jansen snaps. Brad Nortman holds. Leaking left. Missed it. No good. Makeable field goal. Soggy conditions, not raining at the moment. Plant foot didn't slip. Just hooked it. And a miss. ESPN's NFL Wildcard Weekend brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Universal Pictures Black Hat in theaters January 16th. NFLShop.com. Gear up for the playoffs at the official store of the NFL. And Subway restaurants. Try the new grilled chicken strips today. Subway. Eat fresh. Going uptown, Charlotte, largest city in North Carolina. The Queen City, which is a great center of banking. And Bank of America Stadium on this overcast Saturday night. Missed field goal. So Arizona takes over at the spot of the miss. Their own 33. Lindley sacked. Dewan Edwards, the 11-year veteran.
I knew these guards would have trouble with Juan Edwards and the inside pass rushers of the Carolina Panthers. You see right guard Fanica, number 74. He just gets bull rushed right into Lindley's lap. Edwards has been the most consistent of the inside pass rushers this year. In the absence of Greg Hardy, Edwards has come through.
Hardy has been out all but one game on the commissioner's exempt list, pending a jury trial after the domestic violence conviction in his first trial. Lindley slipped and fell, but threw it complete to John Brown across the 30 and to the 31-yard line. Obviously, it rained overnight earlier today, and the rain is shut down for the most part, but the Belk Bowl was played here on Tuesday, and they resodded the middle of the field. You can almost see the seams where the new sod had been laid in. They felt very confident it would hold up well because it's a sand-based field, drains very well. The sodding happened 3 days ago, and the weather was not wet as it was allowed to settle in. Third and 12, Lindley, tough time with the snap. Klein coming in after him. The pass is incomplete. Just kind of threw it towards the middle of the field.
Well, every single snap, it's a double A gap blitz. You don't know who's coming and who's going. He mishandles the snap. Luckily, he picks it up cleanly because Colin Jones was coming quickly.
Out of the pocket, no intentional grounding. Fourth down.
He also had Larry Fitzgerald crossing over. John, let's go to the story here for Drew Butler. 3 poor punts. The last one he thought was going to be blocked. He got it off, and Brenton Burson bailed him out with the mistake that gave Arizona possession.
Butler and Burson are the stories of the game so far, Mike.
A little deeper line drive. Needs to get a good hop, and he does. Burson gets away, and the bounce pays off. Taken back to the 17-yard line. 52 on the kick. Cam Newton a little inaccurate on the last drive. Back on the field in a moment. Not the worst numbers to start here for Cam Newton, but John, his misses were great opportunities to put this thing farther out of reach.
Well, his fundamentals have not been good. He's missed throws, open receivers in the middle of the field, late, not seeing defenders, and Cam has struggled throwing the ball a lot this year, and he's had an ankle surgery, he's had a rib problem, he just got in a car wreck. I know the injuries have taken a toll on his fundamentals, but Carolina's going to need to throw the ball better to stay in this tournament.
Poor starting field position for the Panthers. Philly Brown, the speedy rookie, takes it to the 23-yard line.
And he's got to see the field better as well, Mike. Last play, he zoomed in on Ed Dixon, and he had Jericho Cotchery on this 4 verticals wide open for a touchdown. He's got to see the field better and perform better throwing it for this Carolina offense to regain their balance.
Second and 3, fake to Brown. Stewart runs left, and Jonathan Stewart's going to have a first down at the 28-yard line. 2 plays to move the chains. We saw them on a Monday night in November against Philadelphia, and Cam looked beat up, really banged up. Ron Rivera told us that rib injury that he had week 3 of the preseason against New England, the rib healed. but the cartilage around it really bothered him for a couple of months, so he couldn't torque and turn. It was a lot of pain. So that's where fundamentals erode. And trying to get those back here on the run is difficult. First down, there's time, and a throw in a tight window brought in by the tight end Olsen. Greg Olsen, first down, John.
Excuse me, Mike. That's a great throw, and it's excellent pass protection. The line slides one way, the backs go the other, and Cam finds his favorite target, Greg Olsen. And you can't throw the ball much better than that. At least Cam hurt us, Mike. And Greg Olsen over 1,000 yards heading to the Pro Bowl, and boy, does he deserve it.
What a season he had. 8.5 till the half. Stewart left. Get about 3 yards as they close in on midfield. You mentioned Olsen, John, over 1,000 yards. Only Rob Gronkowski in New England had more yards. Martellus Bennett and Jimmy Graham, the only tight ends who had more catches. So he's up there with the big names. Had such a good career in Chicago. First round pick, traded here. 4 good years with the Bears, 4 good years here with the Panthers. It's a golden age for that position because so many tight ends play detached in that receiver spot. It's a credit to Olsen for what he's been able to do. Second and 7, stretching to the right with Stewart. That time, Alex Okafor, the linebacker out of Texas, has really stayed healthy and played much better for this Arizona team this year in on the tackle.
Mike, look at all these DBs checking in for Arizona. Powers, Buchanan, Rashad Johnson. They like to use 7 defensive backs at times, most of the time 6. And on these third down calls, Todd Bowles blitzes secondary members more than anyone in the league. Watch out for Powers. He likes to come at the slot position quite a bit.
This is 3rd and 5. He's picked up by Mike Tolbert as Newton fires in the ground and incomplete for Philly Brown. So that pressure forced it out quick. There's a flag on the far side of the field again. Back on the side where there was coverage with Patrick Peterson. Newton trying to get his hand dry.
There was no foul on the play for illegal contact. The pass was already thrown before it occurred. Therefore, by rule, it is no foul. 4th down.
They're keeping an eye on Peterson. He loves to play up in the face of these receivers, and that's a great stop by this Arizona defense. And let's see if Ted Ginn can make his presence felt. The ex-Carolina Panther has been known to flip the field.
Brad Nortman to punt. They had protection issues and 2 blocked in a half of a game earlier this year. This time Nortman able to get it away. Then lets it go to the 2. J.J. Jansen, the snapper, cleaning up the kick by Nortman. 98 yards for Lindley in the Cards. Cam Newton's favorite receiving target, Kelvin Benjamin, covered by Patrick Peterson. They said Newton had thrown the ball when the contact happened. Well, there's the top of the screen and the contact, and Newton still has the ball. So that flag that was picked up because the ball they said was already thrown shouldn't have been picked up. Stephon Taylor's the back from their own 2. Gain of 1.
I think some of these pass interference calls should be able to be challenged. If we're going to miss these calls in these types of situations, the coach needs to have a chance to challenge it. But I am going to be surprised if Bruce Arians does not take a shot deep. He loves the vertical passing game, Mike. And with all the crowded boxes that he's seen in the one-on-one looks outside, don't be surprised if Floyd at the top of the screen doesn't go after Josh Norman.
Would you do it down here, back inside your own 5?
Great place to do it.
2nd and 9, Lindley looking for time. Watch the back line there, watch a hold. He throws it away, got out of the pocket, and incomplete.
Boy, they ran a power pass outside the pocket was the ruling. They're lucky that Lindley didn't lose track of the end line, but they're going to pull the left guard Larson and try and find Rob Hausler down the field. clearly out of the pocket. 3rd down and long.
Had issues catching a few of these shotgun snaps. Crossing through the hands of Carlson, who had the running back Hughes slide under his vision. It's another 3 and out, the 4th of the half.
Well, you hear coaches talk about route distribution all the time. Look at 89 Carlson and 39 Hughes intersect in the same throwing lane. Somebody made a mistake. They had 3 receivers in the same area of the field. Here's Burson and Butler again.
Quick feet, gets it out high, it goes nowhere. I mean, nowhere.
Wow.
Net punch of 31 yards. Carolina takes over at the Arizona 34 with 5:53 to go. That 10-7 Panther lead. And we'll keep it here. Bruce Arians with a word here for his punter, Drew Butler, 2nd year out of Georgia, his 3rd team in 3 years. Became the punter when Dave Zastudil got injured and could not finish the season. You remember Drew's dad, Kevin Butler, kicked so long for the Bears. Matter of fact, he was a Super Bowl champ with Ron Rivera, the Panthers coach. And his son Drew having a tough start to this playoff game.
Carolina must capitalize on the field position they've had in this first half.
First down, Cards 34, Newton slinging sideline. Looking for Benjamin, incomplete.
This looks like Cam is falling backwards at times when he releases the football. A lot of maximum protection. He's had time to throw. But some of these drops start with a play action pass, but you often like to see your quarterback finish on his front foot, but Cam clearly fading away at the end of his drop. 2nd and 10.
Jonathan Stewart with the catch, but tracked down. Acho joins Frosty Rucker. Rucker, the former Bengal, on the tackle. It's 3rd down.
Frosty Rucker has been the unsung hero of the Cardinals front. He came in here, Dockett went down. They're a great defensive tackle. He's played a lot of different positions. He has 5 sacks, and that time he showed his lateral range. And Carolina's got to try to get back into makeable field position here for a field goal.
Dockett tore that ACL in the preseason. They lost John Abraham to a concussion. Ed Stinson, another lineman, to a toe injury. Part of the story, the Cardinals have been a resilient bunch all year. Here's the pressure. Newton gets rid of it. Threw it away. It's an interception. Antonio Cromartie chased by Newton. And out of bounds inside the 20.
Mistakes are killing Carolina. I don't know that he ever saw Antonio Cromartie. Left side of your screen is going to be a shallow cross. I have no idea what Jericho Cotchery and Cam Newton are thinking. Cotchery's not even looking for the football. And Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator, will have a conversation with Cam and Cotchery.
50 yards on the return. Cromartie, who had 3 picks this season, 31 in his career, has had an impact in this first half. And the Cardinals with a chance, improbably, to take the lead. Run by Kerwin Williams, the 13-yard line. Look at Larry Fitzgerald in the battle with Colin Jones.
Watch Cotchery on this shallow cross. It's going to be a maximum protection. And Cam wants to throw it down the field, but he resets and looks for Cotchery, who never expected the football. Giving Arizona life, yep. Mike, excuse me, and Arizona with 2nd down and 6 in a great position for a play-action pass.
Inside they'll run it, a little space to run there as Fitzgerald comes down to block, and Kuechly tackles Williams at the 10. 8th tackle for Kuechly in this first half.
How much confidence does Bruce Arians have in Ryan Lindley on 3rd down and 3 in the red zone? The most difficult place on the field to throw, especially with a quarterback you don't have a lot of experience with.
Hey, John,
but here they are.
Logan Thomas just came in. The backup quarterback, Logan Thomas, out of Virginia Tech, played sparingly, has 1 completion. They gave him a look to see if he could start week 17. They determined he wasn't ready. He runs off the sideline. The rookie from Virginia Tech runs a little read option, and they give it to Williams, who's at the 1. It's 1st and goal, Arizona. And Bruce Arians opening the whole deal up here.
Bruce Arians says if Cam Newton's going to do it to us, we're going to do it to them. Guess who the service squad quarterback was all week, emulating Cam Newton on the practice field? It was Logan Thomas. And back in the game is Ryan Lindley. Remember, he threw a play-action pass on 1st and goal for an easy score the last time.
Marion Grice, the rookie, is the running back. Grice trying to pound in. Fumble, ball is down on the ground, and Roman Harper's close to it. And the Panthers have recovered with the veteran Harper. Kuechly had the first hit. Let's see, there's a conversation with the officials. Long conversation about what's going on here.
The ruling on the field is that the ball was fumbled and Carolina recovered. First down.
Kuechly in the hit. K'Wan Short knocked it out. We'll have to look down the goal line to see, as it was extended by Grice, how close it got to breaking the plane. And since it is a turnover, it will be automatically reviewed.
Marion Grice.
There'll be one look here that'll be definitive, John. Looking straight down the plane. Grice, ball extended, crosses the plane, no body part down. That should be a touchdown. As we said, automatically reviewed by Ed Hockley here in Charlotte. Dean Blandino, the vice president of officiating in New York. Did Bruce Arians, rookie running back, Marion Grice, who only had 15 carries this year, have possession long enough as he crossed the plane to make this a touchdown? We're watching here. There's Grice. He gets that right hand, which came off the ball, back on it, and no body part seems to be down there from every look, and then it is knocked out by Short and recovered by Harper of the Panthers. Again, the way the bar has been set, it's got to be everybody who would see it has to see that that was a touchdown. If it's a little gray area, they've been standing with the call on the field. That one with that re-grab there, John, I think 100 guys watching that would say 100 times he broke the plane and had control. If that's the case, Arizona improbably would have the lead in this game.
I don't think there's any question that this is a touchdown, Mike.
Wait till you see the smile on Grice's face. Or the relief.
And Bruce Arians.
Yes, sir. Here's Ed.
The football broke the plane of the goal line before it came loose. And the knee was not down at the time as the nose of the ball touched the goal line plane. Therefore, the ruling was touchdown. Please reset the clock to 2:50. 2:50 on the clock.
And Arizona takes the lead. One procedural cleanup. I mentioned Dean Blandino, the VP of officiating, who's in consultation with the official here, that he's in New York. Dean actually is in Indianapolis, where the Colts will play the Bengals in the playoff game tomorrow, but he is able to do all of his duties from there. So cleaning that up, and Ed Hockley goes over and has a conversation about the review with Ron Rivera.
Mistakes are killing Carolina. Arizona was 65 yards of total offense, Mike, and 14 points. Bruce Arians has to be thrilled.
And the small mistakes are magnified. As Larry Foote, veteran of 2 Super Bowls with the Steelers, said to us, you know, field goals in a regular season, that's like first downs. Everything in the postseason is just magnified. There's no time to clean it up tomorrow. The missed field goal by Carolina, the mistake on the punt team in the first quarter, the interception thrown by Newton, and the Cardinals' resilience all of this season, showing that in this first half. First 10 for Carolina, the last 14 for Arizona to take the lead. It was this early mistakes by Bretton Burson, trying to possess it, deflects off of him, ruled a fumble. Arizona takes advantage, starts the quarter with a touchdown pass to Fells. Third down interception thrown by Newton, 50-yard return by Cromartie. And the rookie, Marion Grice, breaks the plane for the score. He had one rushing touchdown in the regular season. And these somewhat anonymous cards, Lindley, Fells, Grice, part of the scoring here. Arizona leads from the goal line. It's Fozzie Whitaker on the return. He'll take it out to the 20-yard line. John, a closer look at that interception by Newton.
Well, I think Jericho Cotchery on this shallow cross thinks the ball is thrown behind him. And he just took his eyes off Cam Newton. And it was a just careless play by the veteran Cotchery. And he and Cam Newton clearly not on the same page. And Antonio Cromartie has shocked this Carolina crowd. Newton needs to get some success throwing the football quick.
2:44, all three timeouts. Carolina has run the ball effectively in this first half. From the 20, they'll lean on that with Stewart. Got out of a tackle to the right, and Jonathan Stewart with a dozen yards on that one.
Calais Campbell disgusted with himself. The 7-year Pro Bowl defensive end needs to make that play in traffic. Missed tackles continue to plague Arizona's defense. You'll see Campbell, 93, get off a block, and normally he wraps up. But Jonathan Stewart, very powerful lower body.
Cam keeping it. Olsen out there trying to block for him. He's spilled by Gerard Powers. His gain of 7 as we get to the 2-minute warning.
How about these calls in the 2-minute drill? It's where Carolina's going to win this football game today, with the legs of Cam Newton. Another read option in the 2-minute drill.
2 till the half in Charlotte, and the Cardinals lead the Panthers by 4. Coverage from Spider Cam is brought to you by DirecTV. Caught a bit of a break here with the weather. Rained earlier. There's a line of showers approaching, but it's a thin line. Not the heavy rain that was forecast a few days ago. In the 2-minute window, a run with big Mike Tolbert gets the first down at the 44-yard line. They missed him for half the year with a fractured leg, and thrilled to have him back in Mike Shula's offense for the playoffs.
Here comes the DBs for the Arizona Cardinals. And once again, Patrick Peterson at the top of the screen has been in Benjamin's face all day long.
Newton looking the other way, slings it to Olsen, complete. He's tackled by the first-round pick of the Cardinals, Dayon Buchanan, who really plays a linebacker role with all these DBs on the field.
He's a big hitter, and he's had to play linebacker out of necessity. Washington was suspended, Dansby left, and thank goodness for Buchanan.
2nd and 3. Cam over the middle into traffic, tight and incomplete, the flag. Antonio Cromartie had the coverage on the rookie Philly Brown.
That'll be the 3rd infraction against the Cardinals in the secondary. Cromartie in tight bump and run against Philly Brown, and I think Philly's going to get the call.
Pass interference defense, number 31. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
It's a simple slant route. I don't see that. It's a 4th defensive penalty, and it sets up Cam Newton with first down. Running the football with Newton has been the way Carolina has moved it in the first half.
Pressure picked up, Newton over the middle, Brown again has it at the 14-yard line.
Oh, when you blitz, you play man-to-man coverage, and Philly Brown, an undrafted rookie from Ohio State, has come up big for Carolina.
Timeout Panthers, back in 30 seconds. Panther ball at the Cardinals 14. Philly Brown, who John mentioned, going to break, undrafted. Had concussions early on in the season, but when he started to emerge, they cut Jason Avant. That was week 11. And this speedster has joined Kelvin Benjamin, two young receivers, part of Cam Newton's crew here down the stretch. First and 10 from the 14. It will be Stewart spinning. This time wrapped up. Still goes forward for 3. 2 timeouts at their disposal. The clock turns.
And here comes Philly Brown again. How many rookies are playing for this Carolina football team? I look out there in a huddle. Left guard, Andrew Norwell. Right guard, Trey Turner. You see Benjamin at the top of the screen. Philly Brown at the bottom. 4 rookies in round 1 of the playoffs.
Clock tumbling down to a half minute here. Still get a first down at the 4. Newton looking end zone for Brown. Incomplete. And Brown may be shaken up.
They're staying away from Patrick Peterson. And they're working Antonio Cromartie against the all-out blitz. Let's check on Philly Brown. Fly stop pattern on the right side, and he came down awkwardly on that shoulder.
It'll cost Carolina a timeout. Be right back. Athletic training staff of the Panthers looking at Philly Brown. Even though the clock was stopped, an injury in the last 2 minutes is an automatic cost of a timeout to the team that had the injured player. And Brown will certainly get looked at here, and then at half in a first down where the Panthers have had the better play, over 200 yards, 10 more first downs. Those couple of turnovers have been key. That's why Arizona's up 4. It's 3rd and 7 with 28 seconds left in the half.
Be shocked if Cam Newton doesn't look for Benjamin, his 6'5", 240-pound rookie, on some kind of jump ball. Been a big part of this Carolina red zone offense.
Philly Brown out, Brenton Burson in. Play clock at 2. Cardinals bring the heat. Newton hit as he throws incomplete. The pressure from Rashad Johnson. They bring all these DBs, and John, they get to the quarterback fast, and they did there.
Well, it's all-out pressure, and Todd Bowles knows the ball's coming out in 1.2 seconds. Blitz coming off the right side, and Carolina's outnumbered. Cam Newton getting punished. Rashad Johnson, what an impact player he's been for this Arizona defense. And here's Graham Gano.
Made from 47, missed from 43, this one from 29. And flags are down. Flags thrown by an official from each side after the field goal went through.
Holding, offense number 86. 10-yard penalty, repeat 4th down.
Key penalty on Brandon Williams, the second-year tight end out of Oregon. That'll take a 29 back to a 39. And remember, Gano missed to the left from 43 earlier.
A lot of mistakes by Carolina. All 3 phases.
Hey, think about it. The defense is just looking at Davis and Kuechly there on the sideline. Cardinals have run 28 plays. They've gained 65 yards. And here they are down 4 because of those mistakes. We'll see if it's down 1 again as Gano tries from 39. Good push up the middle that time, but Gano able to knock it through. His second field goal, 15 on the clock and 14 and 13 on the board. Winner here doesn't know where they will go. They have to wait for the Cowboys and the Lions on Fox late tomorrow afternoon with Joe and Troy. If Dallas ends up winning that game, then the winner here is Seattle bound on Saturday night. If Detroit pulls the upset with Matthew Stafford going back to his home area, North Texas, then the winner here will be Lambeau bound to play the Packers on Sunday. So it's a win and a wait before you start preparing for the final 8. Touchback Gano. Good hang time and depth, but Ginn will bring this out. And Ted Ginn trying to get to the edge and get some space. That's a great cutback by Ginn. Look out. Ted Ginn needs a couple of blocks. Going to be taken to the sideline at the 42. He got his hands on one, and he returned it 50 yards. Big one for Ginn. Chris Bourbon, Toyota halftime. We'll break down what happened in the first half with our crew. Morton Adam keeping their phones busy on all the coaching moves. And we'll preview the second game of this wild card weekend. The Ravens and the Steelers is over on NBC with Al and Chris tonight. Toyota halftime coming up momentarily. What do you do now, Coach? 5 seconds left. 42. Do you take the one shot with Fitzgerald for a jump ball?
Yeah, I'd put Logan Thomas in the game because he can throw it out of the stadium. I don't think Lindley has the arm to do it.
And Carolina's going to use their timeouts. That's a great move, too, because you often have those timeouts and you forget. You can use them for defense, too, whether give a pass rusher a break or here just to make sure you are lined up properly for the Hail Mary play.
You've been trained well, Mike.
I got a good coach, pal.
You got to rest your defensive linemen sometimes. I mean, give Charles Johnson, give these pass rushers a chance to get a drink, organize where they want to go, and get after Lindley in an obvious Hail Mary situation. But I'd be surprised if we don't see Logan Thomas. He can really throw the ball, especially this type of pass.
Do you go into the locker room with confidence both ways here after this half?
I think both teams are going to have conversations with their teams. I'm really disappointed if I'm Ron Rivera. There have been penalties, turnovers, in all three phases we've made critical mistakes.
Carolina sends 4 defenders back to the 20-yard line. 4-man rush to not maximize the time. Lindley rolls, buys, throws downfield, and it's incomplete. No flags, and the half will come to an end. So the Panthers get it to start the third. They trail by 1 as we send it back to the studio. Chris Berman and company and the Toyota halftime.
No holding back. Today, staying alive is all that matters.
Off we go with the playoffs. Carolina touchdown. Oh, it hit the return man for the Panthers. Throws over the top. And the touchdown for Darren Bell. Newton threw it away. It's an interception. First act of 4 on this wild card weekend here in Charlotte, and the Cardinals down 10-0 after 1. Lead by 1. The Panthers get the ball to start the second half. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salters down on the field. Cam Newton and his adjustments. It was a first half of some good running moments, but some poor moments throwing the ball as well.
Yeah, Arizona's given up some yardage, but on a critical third down and red zone situation, the blitzes are confusing Cam Newton. He thought it was an all-out blitz. He changed the pattern. He changed the protection, and at the top of the screen, Antonio Cromartie saw that wide split. He jumped this inside breaking route. And then in the red zone and in the red zone fringe, they are coming after Cam Newton with all-out blitzes. And his receivers and Cam Newton haven't been on the same page all the time either. Here, Rashad Johnson rings Cam Newton's bell. All-out blitzes, disguises. It's what hurt Carolina last year. Let's see what adjustments they've made coming out of the locker room.
See the numbers with Cam. Historical note, first playoff game in the last decade and a half, 15 years, where a team was down double digits after the first quarter, but led after halftime. Down 10-0 the Cardinals after 1 halftime lead. And the second half begins with Chandler Catanzaro kicking it deep. Burson and Whitaker are back, and neither will return. It's a touchback, and here's Lisa Salter.
Well, Mike, Ron Rivera said it's just the mistakes that are killing us. He said the ball, the punt that was touched, the miscommunication between his quarterback and his wide receiver. About Cam Newton, he said he's been making some good reads, but he's just been missing the passes. He's got to bring that ball down and make those passes. Some bad news as far as wide receiver Philly Brown goes. He is out of this game for the rest of the game with a shoulder injury. As for the Carolina Panthers, Bruce Arians says he is feeling good. When they've had opportunities, they've made them. They've scored touchdowns. They haven't had any turnovers. I asked him what he has told his punter. He said, you got to do your darn job. Relax. Don't be in a hurry. Just sit in and make the kicks.
All right, Lisa, thank you. Passer Kotchery incomplete by Cam Newton to start this second half. It'll be second down. So what does the Philly Brown absence mean, John, for this Carolina offense.
Well, he's been their down the field big play threat. And Carolina has to reintroduce themselves to Kelvin Benjamin, number 13, over 1,000 yards, and Patrick Peterson, number 21, has done a nice job shadowing him.
1 yard gain for Stewart as he runs to the right. Alex Okafor with the tackle. We have a flag thrown, or at least the game stopped for the moment. Arizona was trying to make the final substitutions there, and I don't know if they got off the field in time with that would-be 12th player. Let's see. And Honkley will communicate again. These crews do not work together all year, so communication just a bit finer.
12 men on the field defense. The last player did not get off the field before the ball was snapped. There was no substitution by the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
We saw one of the linemen running off. There you see. As he's heading off pre-snap. Still got a foot in the green. That's a good call from the back to spot that. Carolina will get 2nd and 5 instead of the 2nd and 10 they just had a moment ago. Olsen comes back to block, but Newton is down. Frosty Rucker, the quick read, and erasing that zone read.
Frosty Rucker, seen that play enough. You see number 98 at the top of your screen. As soon as Bell, the left tackle, blocks down, he went right for the mesh where the ball and the back were, and he took Cam Newton down.
The best athletes in the world, the best coaches are starting to understand how to play that zone read. And not as easy to fool players as you once did. A loss of 4 makes it 3rd and 9. Cardinals running all over. They're bringing 4 and spying Newton as he waits in there, looking, still looking. Now taking off. Newton chased by Buchanan. First down, Cam.
I'm shocked they play that coverage against Cam Newton. You play 2 deep man under and don't get a pass rush. I think they end up rushing 3. They've got 2 defenders spying on Cam Newton. It's 2 deep man-to-man underneath, no pass rush. And Cam Newton does what he always seems to do. He buys time and he runs for first downs on 3rd down. How many people have over 1,000 yards rushing on 3rd down like Cam Newton does throughout his career?
There you see his rushing numbers this regular season behind Super Bowl champ Russell Wilson and Colin Kaepernick for quarterback rushing yards. And there's that 3rd down stat you spoke of. First down throw here for Olsen, and that's another receiver breaking open that Newton has not been accurate and sharp here tonight.
Well, he's not finishing on his front foot. And we talked about the injuries, the practice time that he's missed, but when you have protection and open receivers, you have to make these throws, and the conditions continue to worsen. But when you fall behind in the down and distance against this Arizona defense, you're playing with fire because the blitzes and the disguises are very good.
Every time he's on the knee in that huddle, he gets up really slow. He did that in practice all day when we were here on New Year's Day as well. They run with Stewart again, and he's trapped and chased down by Matt Shaughnessy, the former Raider, Wisconsin Badger.
And you see the frustration in Cam Newton. His demeanor throughout this 4-game winning streak, you saw the gleam back in his eyes, the excitement, the smile in his expressions. But right now he's clearly struggling physically and against this Arizona defense. And this is nowhere you want to be, Mike. 3rd down and 12. Expect blitz.
You see if Buchanan spies again. That time he just got caught in that last 3rd down. 3rd and 12. Pressure comes from Newton's blind side. He escapes. He takes off. Puts his shoulder down and gets a first down at the 42-yard line.
Unbelievable. Justin Bethel has to make this sack. It's an overload blitz on the left side. Gerard Powers has a chance for the sack, and Cam Newton sells out for another first down. 3rd down and long twice in this drive. He's converted for first down on his legs.
Needed 12, got 13. Panthers at their own 42. Opening drive, second half. Newton waiting in there. Kachary, and they jump on it for Cromartie. Limited gain of 3. It's always the fear of the running quarterback. You're going to pay a lot of money and invest long term when your quarterback takes hits like this.
Especially 2 weeks after a car crash. He's had rib problems all year, and I'm with you, Mike. Risky business when your quarterback runs as much as Cam Newton.
So darn good. You're just caught betwixt and between as the Panther fan. Run by Stewart. They're a little bit wiser to Stewart here. Nice adjustment coming out of the locker room by Bowles, the defensive coordinator, and that front with Rucker, the second stop of the half.
And it's these scrambling quarterbacks throughout the last 3 weeks that have hurt Arizona's defense. Russell Wilson scrambled for huge chunks. Colin Kaepernick did it last week. And Cam Newton has taken off twice already. They have to do a better job containing Newton, who's clearly struggling to throw the football.
Again, all the extra defensive backs. Third and 6. They only rush 4 here. They're going to get to Newton, who throws anyway and completes it for a first down to Benjamin. What a play by Newton to get that one off before Marcus Bernard hit him.
He hung in there a long time. You have to give credit to the offensive line. He held that ball 3 or 4 seconds. Nice pickup by Mike Tolbert. And there's Benjamin uncovering in the zone defense.
3 big third down conversions. 2 runs by Newton and hanging in the pocket there. Saw the Cards plan, adjusted the play to this run by Stewart. 3 yards to the 40.
That's what Carolina does best. Run the football. They have done a nice job protecting this inexperienced offensive line. They have a new right tackle. Mike Remmers was on the Minnesota practice squad. 2 rookie guards, and they don't expose them in one-on pass protection often.
Quick count here. Newton chose to keep it, and Larry Foote was there to make the play and erase it. He was very unhappy. Larry Foote, a couple of Super Bowl titles with the Steelers. Super Bowl 40, Super Bowl 43. When the injuries happened, Carlos Dansby left in free agency. Darrell Washington suspended. They needed an inside backer. They bring Foote. I get the sense, John, this is it for Larry Foote. Maybe his last game, maybe his last playoff run. Missed last week, but he's played all but 1 snap of the first 15 games. Huge for this Cardinals defense inside. And now what will they do on 3rd and 10? Cam's got him the last 3 times. It's in the hands of Brent Person, and he'll be stopped short from here. It's a 55-yard field goal. Let's see what Rivera does.
Quick screen on 3rd down and long against another blitz, and Ron Rivera is going to punt the football.
You like that thinking?
I like it in this field position, certainly. Pin them back. Arizona has 65 yards of total offense, Mike.
Yes.
Pin them back there. You got a lot of football left to play, but Cam Newton, what a job he did on 3rd down on that drive.
Ron Rivera earned the name last year, Riverboat Ron, for his penchant for going for it on 4th down. This year, that Riverboat Ron took a different tack. They may just take the 5 yards and delay of game. And they will as the play clock runs out. Bruce Arians wants to decline it. Let's see.
Delay of game offense. The penalty is declined. Still 4th down.
Interesting to leave him in 4th and 4 instead of 4th and 9. In any case, Rivera's Riverboat Ron was different. It was late in the season, being a little more aggressive, going for touchdowns and being aggressive with play calling in clock control situations. But as John said, with only 65 yards for the Cards so far in the first half, this may be the more prudent play. Turn it over to your defense. I hope your punter Nortman can take care of business. Ted Ginn, fair catch at the 8. 12 plays, no points. And Ryan Lindley, only 1 win as a starter in the NFL. That's his first half. His second starts after this. ESPN's NFL Wildcard Weekend brought to you by the local experts at your independent True Value. The new City Double Cash Card. And NFL Playoff Challenge. Thought your fantasy season was over? It's not. Play for free at NFL.com/fantasy. Great to be in Uptown Charlotte for our first ever NFL playoff game on ESPN. The 4 to 5 seed, the Cardinals and the Panthers, trying to advance to the Final 8 with Ryan Lindley, the third stringer for Arizona, taking over at his own 8. And a good run read right away by the nickelback Colin Jones for the tackle. It's a loss of a couple for Williams. Ryan Lindley's story, San Diego State, 4-year starter, set records there. Good offensive personnel around him. 6th-round pick by the Cardinals, kept him for a few years. Then he was cut going into this preseason. So on the practice squad in San Diego, but maintained his home in Arizona. And when Carson Palmer got hurt, Lindley was having lunch with his wife in Tempe. Saw on their phone on an alert that Palmer was hurt. He went back to San Diego to be on the practice squad the next day. Signed to the active roster for the Cards, and now starting in the playoffs. No room for Williams. As the penetration pushed his offensive lineman back into the running lane, it'll be 3rd down, John.
Their first down, early down, run offense has been absent. And a lot of these runs have had no chance. And now in an obvious passing situation, if I'm Bruce Arians, I'm thinking screen pass, and I bet you Carolina's waiting on one of those Bruce Arians screens in this situation.
Third and 10, they rush 4. Lindley takes a shot downfield towards Floyd, whose arm got pulled, and the pass is incomplete. Floyd was looking for the flag as Josh Norman was covering. Floyd trying to get the claim that the arm was pulled back.
I thought he did grab his arm. I'm surprised this wasn't called. 24 Norman, late in the down, grabbed Floyd's right arm.
Goes incomplete. There has been poor punting by Drew Butler. Lisa said the message was just to be free and kick it. Hang time's good, the distance is not. Bursts and almost muffed it at the 40. And he hangs on, 31-yard kick. Made a mistake trying to secure possession earlier. Almost muffed it there. Arians wants to know, where was that flag, sir? 3rd time here in this wild card game. Carolina will start the ball on the Cardinals side of midfield. That was the 5th punt of 33 yards or less by Butler here this evening. Fozzie Whitaker's the back. He's got the screen from Newton. Good cut by Whitaker. Whitaker on his feet with Bell the tackle blocking. Fozzie Whitaker, touchdown!
How about Fozzie Whitaker? You hear about D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, Mike Tolbert, and it's Fozzie Whitaker on a screen pass. Cuts it back beautifully, and you're going to see Rashad Johnson, number 26, miss this tackle. Left tackle Byron Bell, number 77, does an excellent job late in the down, but missed tackles, poor angles, and a great effort by Byron Bell.
39 yards on the catch. Really the run. Gano adds the extra point. Fozzie Whitaker, undrafted, 4th stop in the league. He was a Charger. He was a Brown. Briefly a Cardinal. Now he's a Panther. And he's got a playoff touchdown. And Carolina's on top again. This Arizona defense has missed a couple of tackles. Some there, and a great cutback run by Whitaker, who had a 26-yard receiving touchdown earlier this year. Just 32 carries all year. What a moment it is for Whitaker to get the playoff touchdown. Gano, mostly touchbacks, last 2 returnable. Here comes Ted Ginn. Lost the football. Cardinals don't recover. The Panthers do. Kevin Reddick recovered it. Melvin White forced it.
Ted Ginn from 9 yards deep. You see Melvin White force the ball out. Just great second effort by this Carolina special teams outfit. And Kevin Reddick, number 52, is on it for Carolina.
In the regular season, over his great return career, Ginn 280 returns, only fumbled 2. And here in the postseason, one that could put the Cardinals in too deep a hole.
Love to run right in this situation. The tight red zone, they love to run right.
The tight ends, Tolbert is the back in there. Golden opportunity for the Panthers. And Newton, designed run, read by foot. Limits the game. Lost a half yard, actually.
You run a quarterback power play into an all-out blitz with a man that has a litany of injuries. That play had no chance.
Good job by Foot to get through the trash and find him.
Newton's not hard to find us.
That's a good point.
6'6", 250 pounds. Look for Kelvin Benjamin to get a jump ball opportunity before the day is over against Patrick Peterson.
Benjamin is 6'5". Peterson is 6'1". It's a run with Tolbert. And the Cardinal defense trying to come up with a stand and limit the damage.
I feel like Ron Rivera playing it conservative, make it a 9-point game. Arizona has 65 yards of offense. This Carolina defense seems to have things in control, and he's going to be real careful throwing the ball against Cromartie and Patrick Peterson, obviously.
3rd and goal. Newton. Incomplete for Olsen. Flag on Jefferson. In disbelief.
So am I.
Pass interference defense, number 21. The ball is placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
Side judge Boris Sheik was pretty certain about it. Jefferson questioning, you decide.
One-on-one coverage all the way. I don't see anything.
You see a hand on Olsen's shoulder there to propel him up.
Boy.
That hand is what Cheek saw and why he threw it. Extra offensive lineman in, 1st and goal for the Panthers. Newton, Tolbert, touchdown.
That's a great call on 1st and goal by Mike Shula. Sellout, run-stopping front by Carolina. And Cam Newton slips the fullback in the flat for an easy touchdown. You're going to see Tolbert just slide right into the flat, tight end to the corner. Walk-in touchdown. Credit Ron Rivera for punting the football earlier. And this Arizona punt team has cost a lot of field position today.
Gano makes it 27-14. 17 in a row for the Panthers. 2 touchdowns in 92 seconds. And a former Charger, Mike Tolbert, takes it in. While we were away, Bruce Arians' animated conversation with veteran referee Ed Hockley about the calls that have not gone his way, but credit Carolina. Arizona's poor special teams have cost them a lot in this game, and the Panthers made him pay with Fozzie Whitaker and Mike Tolbert receiving touchdowns in this 3rd quarter. Arizona once down 10, now has to try to come back down 13. Ryan Lindley in the offense is averaging 2 yards a play. The mountain's very tall. This must be for Drew Stanton, drafted by the Lions, former Michigan State Spartan, took over for Palmer, started games 2 through 5 and 11 through 15. Had this team still in position as the #1 seed. His knee injury has kept him out the last 3 weeks. And maybe the end of the season. Kerwin Williams is stopped, erased by Thomas Davis. The Panthers are just shutting down the Cardinal offense.
Well, every first down run has been a nightmare. No one blocks Thomas Davis. And it's been all day, 2nd and 12 or 2nd and 11. No one-back running game today for this Arizona offense.
With an inexperienced quarterback, a half a yard on first down means 2nd and long and means a long night. Lindley tries to get it to Williams. Again, it's Davis.
He was all over that screen. He read it like the back of his hand. They faked the quick screen to the left, and Thomas Davis has seen that play on the practice field. Hard man to fool. You know, he's the only Carolina Panther on this team to have won a playoff game with Carolina. He thought he'd be back numerous times. He's not going quietly, Mike.
Third down corner blitz coming. Lindley got rid of it. Incomplete.
People should be talking about Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator of Carolina, more than they are. Great disguises, high volume of pressures in different coverages. And here's Butler again, and this punt team has been a nightmare for Arizona.
Again short. Person with a lot of pressure. Fair catch. Kick just 37 yards. Flag down. They run into him, which would be a 5-yarder.
Running into the kicker by the defense, number 43. That's a 5-yard penalty enforced from the previous spot. Repeat, 4th down.
It was 4th and 13. Leach, the long snapper, pushed the backup tight end Williams into Butler.
I'm nervous if I'm Ron Rivera. Burson, number 11. Burson has struggled fielding the ball, making decisions. And this punt has been nowhere near him today either.
So under pressure, make Burson catch it again. 37 yards. The halo rule came out of college football a couple years ago, so the coverage team was legal there. It'll be good field position again for Carolina. Oregon and Ohio State. The Ducks and the Bucks for the national championship presented by AT&T. In Arlington, Texas, the home of the Cowboys, 9 nights away, Monday night, January 12th. Scintillating semifinals. Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit will bring you the game for the Crystal right here on ESPN. Forward to see him at pal Todd Blackledge, who have the call for you on ESPN Radio as Oregon looks for that first national title, and Ohio State tries to add to a great season led by Urban Meyer and the resurgence of the Big Ten. Again, good field position for the Panthers. Big part of the story of this wild card game. Cam reloads. Olsen's open. Tight end Greg Olsen, gain of 20. First down.
He's coming back, I think, for holding, Mike.
Yep.
Holding. Offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 1st down.
Myron Bell playing for a contract at left tackle gets called for holding. Pretty good call. Right now it's up to Arizona's defense to try to create some offense by creating a turnover, because they have had no luck with their own offense.
Out Oregon, out Oregon, out Oregon.
62 yards in almost 3 quarters. Foot made the initial hit. Acho holding on, but they couldn't make the final tackle. There have been some missed tackles part of the story for this Cardinals defense here today.
Yeah, a lot of yardage after missed tackles. Fozzie Whitaker, 3 missed tackles. Short screen pass turns into a 40-yard touchdown reception. Have not tackled well over the last few weeks.
If you look back at the entirety of the season, no team gave up more yards after the initial hit than Arizona. 10 on the line. Newton over the middle, wide open. The tight end, Dixon. Dixon takes it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line, and the tight ends are giving the Cardinals problems again. Another flag in the secondary.
Larry Foote can't cover Ed Dixon. That's a mismatch, and Carolina's going to win this one.
Before the pass was thrown, holding defense number 21. The penalty is declined. The play results in a first down.
John, this is what's happened, I feel, the last few weeks watching Arizona defensively. Here's Foote.
Well, it's a mismatch, and Foote's 34 years old with a bad wheel, and Dixon, the ex-world champion Baltimore Raven, dominates there. You see the penalty on Peterson. I think it's the 6th defensive penalty, 5 in the secondary.
Play action first down, Newton. Again, wasn't set to throw it, and it's incomplete to Dixon. You know when you play golf, you know when you have a partner in golf and he's struggling and you're trying to carry him? Sometimes you try to hit it too hard, you try to make a birdie, you get aggressive. I just get the sense that Arizona's partner for the defense, the offense, is kind of letting them down. They know they've got to do everything, and it seems like that weight is what's crushing this Cardinals defense the last few weeks.
Yeah, Patrick Peterson told us the same thing the other night. When you try to do too much, you see too much, you make mistakes, you take poor angles, and you pay for it.
Stewart seeking space. Flag down again. This one's at the 12-yard line. That was at the spot of the block. Let's see which way the call will go in this final minute of the third.
Holding offense number 70. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Trey Turner, the rookie right guard. But, you know, you get the feeling that woe is me in Arizona with the injuries that they have had. But when you look at this Carolina team carefully, who are these Panthers? They have 8 different rookies making huge contributions. You saw Fozzie Whitaker score a touchdown a moment ago. A whole new secondary, a whole new cast of receivers, 2 rookie guards, a right tackle that just got signed. Amazing accomplishment by these Carolina Panthers.
Blitz coming from Arizona. Newton in trouble. Oh, he put it up dangerously. And it is a flag. Is it a forward pass? That's the question. Forward pass, incomplete. Newton down, flag down. Whoa. Tommy Kelly almost had a big man touchdown, too. Let's see Newton as he gets up.
And was it a lateral?
There was no foul for intentional grounding. There was a receiver in the area. Third down.
That's one of those where it's going to be a forward pass as he gets twisted around. So the ball may be coming backwards, but the intent of it is a forward pass. And thinking Newton was reaching at that left leg as he was under the stress from Calais Campbell, and a little bit of concern here again for the oft-injured Newton.
He has taken more hits than any quarterback I've seen. Here's the challenge.
Arizona's going to challenge that if it was a forward pass or not. Bruce Arians
Arizona's challenging the ruling on the field that it was an incomplete pass.
Bruce Arians said it was going backwards on that play.
You see Derek Anderson getting loose on the sideline. Anderson, who won 2 games, the ex-Arizona Cardinal, might be called upon. Here's the replay. See what Bruce Arians is challenging.
Here's your throwing motion by Newton as he's facing sideways, trying to throw it forward. Oftentimes, if you're getting twisted and you're trying to throw a forward pass, but the twist sends the pass backwards or the other way, they'll say it was a forward pass and not a backwards pass, or what's referred to in more common terms as a lateral. So that's what they'll have to be looking at there. Meantime, the athletic training staff looks at Newton. You mentioned Anderson, who came in both times when Newton couldn't start, early and late in the season, both against Tampa Bay, and Derek Anderson led them to victory. 2 huge victories in this 7-8-1 season. See if this stands. Here's Hockley.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. It was an incomplete pass. By rule, when the quarterback is in the process of throwing the pass and is hit, and the contact has some effect causing the ball may go in a backward direction, the rules state that it is still a forward incomplete pass. Arizona is charged a timeout.
You know, it's a good thing that Ed, who is an attorney by trade, doesn't use that as a billable hour for all of us with the explanation. But that's the point I was trying to make, that when you get spun around, as long as you were trying to move that arm forward, no matter the flight of the ball, it's still an incomplete pass. And 3rd and 20, Newton stays in. Man, a lot happened on that play, including the almost Tommy Kelly pick it and run. Dangerous decision. Toss to Whitaker. Touchdown last time he touched it.
Another flag. We have flags everywhere, Mike.
Gain of 5, and another one does come in at the back end of the play as well. As we've turned into a local Subway here. We're stopping at every play.
Can't wait for this explanation.
There were 2 fouls by the offense in the play. For holding, number 74, that is declined. There was also an illegal block in the back. That penalty is accepted, 10 yards. Repeat, 3rd down.
Important here because this first down series started at the Cardinals 29 on the edge of field goal range, which would make it a 16-point game if they were able to get close enough for Gano. They were right at his field goal range. Now it's being pushed back close to midfield here at the end of the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 30 coming up. Clock will start when whistled to play and will be at the end of 3. Panthers score all 14 and take the lead a quarter away from advancing in the playoffs. Newton has not been sacked. His team leads 27-14, but boy, has he taken some hits, especially as this game has gone on. Pressure off the edge in 3rd down situations. That long drive to start the 30, ran for 2 first downs. He tucked it and ran, but took a hit, and then just a moment ago stepped on his foot by Calais Campbell. Handing it off here on 3rd and 30, and Stewart is brought down to 45. He came down awkwardly as well. And a drive that was in field goal range a few plays ago will turn into a punt for the Panthers, up 13.
And Nortman will pin Arizona deep again. Let's see if Arizona opens the toolbox, comes out, starts throwing the ball to try to get back in this game. Another flag.
Well, a snap was imminent, and the Cardinals have too many players.
There were 12 men in the field by the defense. In formation at the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty. It's still 4th down.
One time they got caught with defensive substitutions. Here, Rashad Johnson was not the one who was supposed to be there, so it moves it to the 40.
Arizona's special teams, from Ted Ginn's returns to Butler's punts to 12 men on the field, it's been a nightmare.
And boy, do you need good special teams on a night when you have 62 total yards of offense through 3 quarters. Nortman kicks it Aussie football style, end over end, trying to keep it in the field of play. Deflected by Jones, but he was in the end zone, so it'll be a touchback. And it will be Arizona ball at the 20. So we know it's a 3rd-string quarterback. We know the struggles. 62 yards, fewer than 100 total yards in the history of the playoffs. The prior 504 NFL playoff games. 58 Browns, 48 Cardinals. That was a huge snowstorm, memorable game against Philadelphia. for one of these charter franchises in the league. They lost the 48 championship game.
Can't save your bullets for next year. It's now or nothing if you're Arizona.
Here's a first down throw. Ryan Lindley nearly intercepted, trying to find Fitzgerald. The coverage was there with Davis and Ben Wickery. Larry Fitzgerald's been through a lot of days like this in a Cardinal uniform.
Sure has. A lot of different starting quarterbacks. Might be his last game as an Arizona Cardinal. Not had much impact this season. Only 2 touchdowns. Hasn't been the primary target in some critical situations. Be careful of this Carolina pass rush in this situation.
Second and 10. Lindley, sack. K'Wan Short, who has not played his best football over the last month, comes up with a sack, and it's 3rd and long.
Oh, it's just such a deep rotation. We've seen Dwan Edwards. Now you meet K'Wan Short, just overpowering Ted Larson at left guard. And Luke Kuechly in zone coverage, gets underneath Larry Fitzgerald. There's just nowhere to throw and not much time to throw it. And look at Roman Harper, the veteran safety, number 41, as he communicates with all these young Carolina secondary men.
Place going nuts. Lindley shy of the first down with Carlson, the tight end. They needed to get to the 30, and their MVP, Luke Kuechly, kept them away.
Well, it's either Kuechly or Davis, it seems, on every single play. Number 59, he knows where the first down marker is. It's right behind him. He puts his heels on it. Limits yardage after the catch. I'd be alert for a fake right here if I was Carolina. Butler has not punted good at all tonight.
His best kick of the night, 44 yards, fair caught by Burson at the 28-yard line. The last first down by Arizona was when Grice scored a touchdown halfway through the second. We're in the 4th, and they're in trouble. ESPN's NFL Wildcard Weekend, brought to you by Kevin Hart's The Wedding Ringer, in theaters January 2015. And ESPNFanshop.com, powered by Dick's Sporting Goods. The founder, the owner of the Carolina Panthers, Jerry Richardson, first former player since George Halas to become an owner in the NFL. He played with Unitas and the Colts, the 59 title game, caught a touchdown pass. Co-chairman of the NFL's executive committee. And seeing his Panthers trying to get a playoff win after a loss at home. And John, we travel all the stadiums in the NFL. Cam Newton stars here. That Panther logo is so prominent when you're around town. But here, the NFL logo is at midfield. And that's the way Jerry Richardson wants it. A man who's been a part of the league since those Colts teams in the 50s. And he said no team, no one thing is bigger than the league. So this stadium and MetLife in New York, shared by the Jets and the Giants, the only stadiums where it's not the team logo at midfield, it's the NFL shield. And it's Jerry Richardson's way of saying the league stands tall. 2nd and 10 for Newton. Pressure up the edge. Acho almost got there and forced to turn it. It is ruled right now nothing but a live ball. Arizona has it at the 15-yard line. Johnson taken to the 8. And let's see if that will be ruled a fumble or a forward pass.
The ruling on the field is it was a fumble. The ball came loose from the quarterback's hand. First down.
What to look for here? Is the hand empty as it comes through?
That's a fumble. Todd Bowles says if we can't score with our offense, I'll bring everybody and create a turnover. That time it's an all-out blitz. They brought it right up the middle, and the edge pressure got there, and Acho
absolutely
delivers.
We will review the ruling on the field that it was a fumble rather than an incomplete pass.
And again, Acho hits it. There it's out, and his hand is open and empty as the ball is going forward. This is going to be Cardinal ball, and their defense is keeping them alive for the moment. Clear. Here's Ed Hockley with the call. should be
The
confirmed.
ruling on the field is confirmed. It was a fumble. By rule, when the ball comes not loose from the hand, if the hand pushes the ball forward because he does not have a grip on the ball when his hand starts forward, that is a fumble. Arizona's ball, first down.
I can't believe they're throwing the football in this situation with a quarterback that's been beat up most of the game.
Great play by Acho. This Arizona offense, which has been awful. 70 yards, 38 plays, 8 yards away from getting back in it. They've capitalized on good field position twice. Lindley throws. He threw an interception to Kuechly.
That sums up Arizona's night offensively. It's a very common pattern. I'm sure Luke Kuechly has practiced against this route since he was at Boston College. 59, he's going to see the little receiver sit down in a zone, and he ran right to the junction of that pattern.
Nine tackles, 1 interception. Not just a Pro Bowler, Rookie of the Year, then Defensive Player of the Year, Luke Kuechly. All-Pro again this year, his 3rd season. And for Ryan Lindley, the inability to perform in that red zone situation, trying to get it to one of the great red zone receivers of the last decade. But it's been very common, guys trying to get the ball to Fitzgerald and throwing interceptions, as the quarterback position has been a carousel in Arizona, other than Kurt Warner's great run and Carson Palmer. And that one takes all the starch out of this Cardinals team. It gives the Panthers a lot of love. Jonathan Stewart breaking free. Stewart across the 40-yard line. 35 on the game.
Arizona has 4 defensive linemen, 4 linebackers, just 3 defensive backs. And Jonathan Stewart right off the left side shreds them. Missed tackles have been the story of the night. Rashad Johnson, one of the better tackling Arizona Cardinals, has been victimized twice.
3rd time in the last 5 games that Stewart's gone over 100.
And D'Angelo Williams, the all-time leading rusher in Carolina history, makes his debut.
Didn't touch it on the snap. He was in the first half from the 40. First run in over a month. Let me get in on this party. Minter tackles him on the white. No flag thrown as Williams comes back.
Sorry, Mike. These 2 running backs, D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, they call them double trouble, but you rarely get a chance to see them play together. In the last 37 outings, you've only seen Stewart and D'Angelo Williams carry the ball together 10 times. And if they can get these 2 backs healthy and Cam Newton settled down a little bit throwing the football with this defense, I wouldn't want to play these guys.
Williams right. He's fresh. He wants a part of the playoff party. 31-year-old D'Angelo Williams, first down at the 44 of the Cardinals.
These Carolina fans recognize D'Angelo Williams. He said, hey, Fozzie Whitaker's making plays. Put me in the game.
Two big-name backs with long pedigrees. Only Minnesota with Adrian Peterson had more money tied up in the running back position. And as you said, the injuries have not allowed them to get the double, treble, double barrel production. But some thought coming in with Newton running and these 2 again healthy, with Williams now back from the hand injury, that could be the equation to go on the road and make it a tough playoff game in Green Bay or Seattle. Williams for a couple. The NFC South has always been the division that turned over. Nobody could win back-to-back. This Panthers team, the first team to do it. You lived it. You banged your head against the NFC South for years.
These 2 guys, I made them a lot of money. I got fired because they ran me right out of this stadium on Monday Night Football. Shame on D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart, but you can see the madness that they create when Cam Newton puts the ball in there and keeps it. That's one thing. When he hands it, it's another. I'm impressed with The way they can run the ball from so many different alignments. Hard to defend.
Williams runs into Calais Campbell and gets tackled by Dan Williams. Minimal gain there, 8.5 remaining in regulation.
And it's a good running back coach they have here at Carolina. Jim Skipper's been here a long time. And he handles these backs. He knows more about D'Angelo Williams than any member on the coaching staff. And he's trying to work them back into the game. But how would you like to be the running back coach here at the Panthers and coach Double Trouble and Fozzie Whitaker and Mike Tolbert?
It's pretty good.
And Cam Newton's really your best running back.
That's exactly right. 3rd and short, Cam Newton was terrific this year. 3rd and 1, he made 10 of 11. 4th and 1, he made 11 of 13 in terms of conversions. Timeout taken. It'll be Carolina timeout at 8:01 remaining here in the 4th.
I'll be very surprised, Mike, if Cam Newton throws the ball in this 3rd down situation.
Talking about the assistant coaches before. Kenny Dorsey is the quarterback's coach here. Twice a Heisman finalist, won the Maxwell, the 01 National Championship with the Canes. So you got Kenny Dorsey, Mike Shula upstairs calling the plays. Of course, Mike Shula, terrific Alabama quarterback. Now he is calling the plays for the man who led Auburn to the national championship in Cam Newton. There are places Alabama and Auburn can collaborate. 3rd and 10. Newton, middle. Oh. Dangerous hit. Peterson got the worst of it. Benjamin, the intended receiver. And Peterson gets up. Man, oof. Incomplete.
Ball's thrown into a lot of traffic. Surprised they threw the ball at all in that situation, but
it's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, coming over, and he tagged his own teammate Peterson. He got that big contract, 5 years, $70 million. Top paid corner in the league with that deal. Again, a muff by Ginn, but he's able to secure it. He had called a fair catch, so it's Cardinals ball at the 14, and one of the Panthers in coverage there got injured in the traffic and the contact after. We'll step out for a moment here in Charlotte. Prestigious awards in the league, the Walter Payton Man of the Year, and Calais Campbell of the Cardinals and Thomas Davis of the Panthers are 2 of the 32 men in contention for it. Each team has one representative. It honors a player for outstanding community service activities as well as his excellence on the field, established 1970, named after the late great Walter Payton, 1999. The NFL honors the night before the Super Bowl out in the desert. The winner will be announced. 1st and 10. Lindley throws to Fitzgerald. It's complete. Keekly with the tackle.
These linebackers are everywhere.
First down in 25 minutes for the Cardinals.
Plenty of time. Wouldn't be surprised after another 1st down if Bruce Arians jumps into the 2-minute offense. 1 1st down at a time. But you have to pass protect against this Carolina pass rush, which is heated up.
Robert Hughes is the back. He's the best pass catcher. Over the middle, it's caught by Carlson across the 30. Tackled by Colin Jones. Again, Lindley, so little experience. We pointed out he was in San Diego for almost half the year, a little more than half the year, actually. And you're not getting any reps when you're the 3rd-string quarterback. But you corrected me this week, and you were right. He's not the 3rd string. He's the 4th-string quarterback for the Cardinals.
That's right. He was cut. They went with Logan Thomas out of training camp, and you spent 10 weeks learning San Diego's offense, and you got to forget that one and relearn this one. Good luck.
Had familiarity with the time with the receivers. Not there. And the sack. Brought down by Charles Johnson.
Charles Johnson's a great pass rusher. Nobody knows it. Got a huge contract a few years ago, and he just pummels right tackles. This time it's Bobby Massey, and it's no fun playing quarterback against Carolina. They can rush the passer. They know how to play zone coverage. They have very creative blitzes. and they love to run and hit. All 11 of them. This crowd has hung with them all year. It's a credit to them.
Yeah. Don't tell these fans here their team was under 500. They've been loud. They've been great here tonight. 3rd and 13. Johnson pushing again. Sack again. Charles Johnson.
You get in a predictable passing situation and you don't help Bobby Massey, he's going to get beat. And he's going to get beat bad in one-on-one situations. Edge rush, power rush. He does it with stunts and he does it with style. And Carolina's going to advance, Mike, unless something bad happens in this punt game.
I can think about not even catching it. Just let it hit the ground. Person, fair catch, 48-yard line. Charles Johnson, those back-to-back sacks. 5 games against the Cardinals he had played. In each of those games, he had a sack. Sacks on back-to-back plays. And the Panthers this close to the final 8. Carolina's up 13. Still time here. If you're looking ahead, depends on the outcome tomorrow. If the Cowboys win, the Panthers visit the Seahawks. They played here, middle of the season. Tight game, late score by Wilson, and the Seahawks got that win. That was the week after they played Green Bay, and the Packers beat the Panthers at Lambeau. And that's where Carolina would go if Detroit goes on the road and pulls the upset in Arlington. Either way, no bargain, and good luck. Teams at the byes of championship-winning quarterbacks, both AFC and NFC, as the run by Stewart goes to the right for a couple of yards. John, we've seen Cam Newton, some poor throws, some good impressive runs, but also get hit and limping around. Can they sustain this? Can they keep going with this style of football against a Green Bay or a Seattle on the road?
It's hard for me to say no to Cam Newton. I've always questioned whether a quarterback can sustain. Now, he's thrown for over 3,000, run for over 500, 4 years in a row. Car wreck, rib injury, foot problem, but he's still ticking. And when you can play defense, you can hang around.
2nd and 8, again handing with Stewart, continuing his 100-plus yard day. Cardinals trying to get the ball. Stewart just gives them more. 2 yards shy of the first down. Newton is trying to get his first playoff win. It's a big playoff weekend for the guys behind you. Andy Dalton in the early game on CBS that Jim and Phil will have. He's trying to get that first win after 3 losses. Mentioned Stafford going back to his home area, Texas, and Tony Romo finally back in. Guys, when we talk about their playoff performance, this is a big weekend for these 4.
This is huge for Cam Newton. Get a big piano off your back. A lot of pressure, a lot of expectations when you're the #1 overall pick. They lost at home last year. To get that first playoff win is a huge confidence builder for any quarterback. And we'll see what happens with Dalton and Stafford and Romo later.
3rd and 2. That Cardinal defense is trying to hold the game together somehow, some way, and now Bruce Arians will use a timeout. I thought.
I'm surprised he didn't.
Yeah, 3:24 here. It is 4th down. 2 timeouts left.
Very surprised he did not take a timeout. Let's see if Arizona chooses to bring an all-out block. It may be their only chance.
Oh, now the timeout is taken. That's 20 seconds too late.
Boy.
That hurts. And not that their offense has done much. Their offense is total just 6 yards here in this second half. And they only have 7 first downs in the game, but just trying to keep any hope alive.
They only have 4 plays where they've gained yards, Mike.
Here in the second half, 4 positive plays. Our coverage in Charlotte from Spider Cam, brought to you by DirecTV. Jay Rothman, our producer, Chip Dean, our director, our talented Monday night crew, the women and men of our Monday night crew. So much enjoying this first opportunity for ESPN to bring you a playoff game, and we'll see you at the Pro Bowl out in Larry Fitzgerald's home stadium in Glendale in 3 weeks. Nortman does a nice job to get it away. Fair caught by Ginn, lets it bounce. Tolbert tried to keep it, saved it to Jones.
How about Mike Tolbert?
Flag is down right in the middle of the logo at midfield. Tolbert and Jones on special teams stopped it at the 1. Jansen, the long snapper, tells you quickly it's a face mask against our guys, Carolina.
Personal foul, face mask. Number 97 of the kicking team. The 15-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
It's Mario Addison, and he was the one who was slightly injured on that last punt before he went to break and got right back up as soon as we headed off to commercial.
You see Mike Tolbert, the personal protector. They've had some punts blocked, a couple against the Minnesota Vikings earlier. They've changed personal protectors. They've gone to the veteran Tolbert.
Well, getting him back was huge for that, for some things they do offensively with the combination of Stewart and Williams and Whitaker now.
Let's see if they come after it and try to confuse their protection.
Powers creeping in off the edge. May have a chance to actually get a Ginn return here. 2:49 to go. Norman, oh, he bobbled the snap, and he gets out the back door, but he's not going to get the first down. And Arizona's going to take over inside of midfield. So Arians takes the penalty, forces the re-kick, and this has been a special teams fiasco tonight in this wild card game.
Slipped right out of his hands.
It's interesting. You see a lot of punters wear gloves. At least one.
Arizona's got 1 timeout left. I think they've got 1 total yard. Who knows?
.242, 1 timeout. 1 big play keeps him alive. Middle of the field. It's caught by Brown. Big hit, but he's still going to the 26-yard line. John Brown tagged by Trey Boston. 2.5 to go.
Plenty of time. Zone defense. Keep the ball in play.
That was their longest play of the game. Lindley to the tight end Carlson. 5 yards to the 21. Can they get off one more play before the 2-minute warning?
Should be able to. Got to hurry. Fitzgerald in the slot. Where you want to go against this 2-deep coverage.
Get the play off in time. Lindley pumps. He's got a seam. Fitzgerald intercepted. Kuechly made the big play again. And Trey Boston secures this one for the Panthers.
I'm going home listening to Cat Scratch Fever tonight. These linebackers have been amazing. Tackling, in zone coverage, you name it. Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis have done it all for this Carolina defense.
Live in advance is what the playoffs are all about. Hi, folks. Steve Levy in for Stuart Scott one last time. The GMC postgame report coming up. Ray Lewis, Trent Dilfer, Steve Young will break it down. Can't wait to hear what Cam Newton has to say about this one. And we'll have the 2 unbeatens in college hoops beaten today. SportsCenter coming up. Good job.
All right, Steve, thank you. Minute 54, 1 timeout left, so you can't just take 3 knees to end the game. So they hand off a minimal gain as Arizona uses the final timeout with 1:47.
Well, Luke Kuechly reads the quarterback all the way, and Lindley was late down the middle, and he intercepted a ball earlier in this half, and now he causes an interception. And Trey Boston, the rookie out of North Carolina, has his 2nd interception in 2 weeks. Kuechly is unbelievable. His preparation, his instincts, his desire to get there, and his passion for his teammates. It's a rare combination. You'd admit that, Mike.
He's awesome. He's as enjoyable a player to visit with when we traveled around the league. Just love everything about him. 2nd and 9. Quarterbacks not named Warner or Palmer have turned into interceptions. It's been part of the story playing with 16 different quarterbacks during his career. that didn't happen at all this year, but did happen twice in this half, and it may be the final half for Fitzgerald. $25 million cap number next year. Can he and the Cardinals find a common dollar figure to keep him in Arizona, or will he move on? If he does, along with those great numbers, one of the great postseasons and one of the all-time best to ever wear the Cardinal uniform, Larry Fitzgerald.
No doubt. He'll be remembered for a long time in the desert.
3rd and 12. Carolina just runs the clock down, then takes the timeout as the play clock is getting set to expire. Maximize the time used. We're sitting on 59 seconds left. And Cam Newton is that close to his first ever playoff win. And a chance to add that to his resume that we talked about at the very top of the game, with national championship, junior college, and at Auburn, the Heisman Trophy, the #1 overall pick. And what a boost going forward, because as you said, that's kind of gives you that next level of you belong in the league. I know Arizona played a terrible offensive game, but still doesn't take away from winning a playoff game.
No, it doesn't. And you get a lot of credibility amongst your teammates, in your organization, the town you live in. You get a lot of critics off your back when you can win a playoff game. And I don't know if Arizona was as bad as it looked. You got to get credit to Carolina's defense. I saw Carolina do it to Matt Ryan last week. I saw him do it to Drew Brees. And they did against those teams on the road.
3rd and 12, protecting it, Stewart. He'll go down. They'll be able to run it down to 14 seconds before they have to take that 4th down snap. That says it all right there.
What a journey it's been. 1 year at Auburn, junior college. Took over a team that had 2 wins. And he's got them advancing in the playoffs. What mental toughness and physical toughness this team has. They were dead when we saw them in Philadelphia, Mike.
No kicking ball out there to kick. Rivera runs the clock down to 1 on the play clock. At a timeout taken with 11 seconds remaining. That was there. It was just obliterated by the Cardinals player. We'll see if Carolina chooses to punt it or take a safety here with 11 seconds remaining in a 27-14 game. This will be the first playoff victory for the Panthers since the 2005 season. The wild card victory they had at Soldier Field over Chicago. That was the divisional playoff. They won the wild card game over the Giants before going to Seattle and losing in the NFC Championship game. And Jerry Richardson, in year 20 of this franchise, will see them go 7-5 in the playoffs.
So many people get paid, Mike. There's playoff bonuses, trainers, assistant coaches. Great to share that joy with them.
As we said, safety an option here. Run a lot of time, maybe the whole thing off the clock. Then hop out of bounds. Nortman does with 3 seconds left. 27-16 will be the score.
Holding by the offense. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a safety.
And for Arizona, they hope to get Carson Palmer to come back to this organization off of his ACL injury. Drew Stanton, as he will try to return from the knee injury. We'll see how the quarterback position goes. Steve Keim has done a great job building this team, but all the injuries, running back position, they have to fortify. It finally became too much for them to stand up against. And 97 total yards, the second fewest by a team in the 500 and now 5 playoff games in NFL history. Feels great, doesn't it, for these guys?
I'll tell you.
You've been through it, winning playoff games?
And there's so many people in the organization that are rejoicing. I remember when I got my first playoff win as assistant coach, I think we got $12,000 bonuses. I got to buy screened-in porch for the back of my house. And a lot of these coaches will feel the same thing. The trainers, the managers, the public relation people. It's a long season. They were 3-8-1. They won their last 4 games. You talk about a team that's come over injuries and had changes in their organization. Their quarterback just got in a car wreck 2 weeks ago. And here they are with a defense that is really good and physical.
And Jonathan Stewart running it, second best Panthers playoffs, 123 yards. as this season of great moments for the Cardinals will come to an end. Safety results in a free kick from the 20 with 3 seconds left. Gano will boot the line drive. Cardinals touch it, so the clock should start here. McGinn was trying to get himself up there, and there's still 1 second on the clock as the ball slipped through his hands.
The Arizona player gave a fair catch signal. He's therefore down when he recovered the ball. There was 1 second. Arizona's ball, first down.
Ron Rivera's team will outgain Arizona by 289. Cam in uptown Charlotte will enjoy the night.
Well deserved.
And for the 49th consecutive year, the host team will not play in the Super Bowl. Final play, Floyd pitching it back Carlson, throwing it back to Senline, to Floyd, flipping it up in the air towards Lindley, who gets obliterated. This is going to lose yards and might end up being the fewest yards ever in a playoff game, and a fitting end to this one.
Thomas Davis made 5 tackles on the same play, Mike. I'm not kidding you. What a game.
Carolina advances. Here's Lisa Salters.
Thank you, Mike. Cam, your head coach told you guys that you needed to prove that you deserved to be in the playoffs. What did you show on offense and defense today?
Well, it wasn't pretty at times, but I can tell you what, we had a hell of a speech from our head trainer last night to motivate the team. And it was simply our team motto is keep pounding through the good, through the bad, and that's what we did today, man. Hell of a job, and our hats off goes to the defense. They gave us a lot of opportunities that you wouldn't get with a random defense. So, and offensively, we just got to be better. We showed flashes of doing great things, but we got to be more solid going into Seattle.
We know about your bumps and bruises, and yet you continue to run, continue to take big hits. It looked like you were grimacing at times. How does your body feel?
It's the playoffs. Leave it all on the field. Either win or go home. And I told my teammates and the coach staff that no matter what, hell or high water, I'm going to give them everything I got, and that's what I try to show today.
You talked about playing better. You were off on some throws. How do you clean that up moving forward in the playoffs?
It's about trusting the pocket and trusting coach. And, it's the things that I feel like mechanically I just got to go up under the hood and change as far as feet work or whatnot. But a good week of practice to do that.
Congratulations on your first playoff win, and good luck moving forward.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Cam said against Seattle, Lisa, that's not guaranteed yet. That's if Dallas wins. If Detroit wins, the Panthers would go to Lambeau in Green Bay. That last play, by the way, all those laterals dropped 20 yards, means the Cardinals had 77 net yards, the fewest yards by a team in the history of the NFL playoffs. With John Gruden, Lisa Salters, our great team, Mike Tirico, post-game coverage before the kickoff of Pittsburgh-Baltimore right here on the GMC postgame on SportsCenter. We say so long from Charlotte, where the Panthers eliminate the Cardinals.